And we are live. You already know who it is. My name is Mike Kyle, aka the Fantasy Vulture. I have over a decade worth of fantasy football experience and have continuously competed for fantasy championships over the course of the past 6 seasons. I was going to get 7 in 2020, but enough of me. I'm here for you. On today's episode of the FB Show, we are going to continue our Week 4 game previews, breaking down every single Week 4 matchup, all through the lens of fantasy football. Up next, Cleveland Browns versus the Dallas Cowboys. If you are excited for this game preview, be sure to hit that like button down below like an open receiver downfield. Also smash that subscribe button, power running back style, so that you never miss a video from me. And last but not least, you can follow me on all social media platforms at FFVulture. Predominantly Twitter. It's where I spend nearly all my social media time at. It's just quick, it's easy, and I love being able to interact with all of you over there. But let's get started, shall we? Gotta kind of move the mouse over a little bit. Also, drink a bang, hashtag not sponsored. So let's roll. Browns at Cowboys, a game that has a very, very high over-under, and simply because I don't think that these defenses are pretty good. The over-under for this game is 56 points, which is one of the highest on the week, and it might be the highest. Let me do a quick run-through. The only game that has a higher over-under this week is the Monday night game between Atlanta and Green Bay at 56.5. So, a lot of points are being expected to put on the board in this game. The Cleveland Browns, for the first time since 2014, are above 500. Granted, we are only 3 weeks in, but it still counts. They are still above 500. The Cowboys, though, are 1-2. A surprising 1-2, all things considered. The NFC East looks like the worst division in football, and it doesn't seem particularly close. The Cowboys are really the only thing that is making that division relevant. But being 1-2, it's not even the fact that they are that. I think just looking at the record on face value shows that they are not great, right? But I think when you look at it game by game, what's happened, right? This team is going to turn it around. I'm not panicking about the Cowboys in any way, shape, or form. I think it's just a matter of they just haven't gotten good breaks. Things just haven't gone in the right direction. You look at Week 1 versus the Rams. They started off slow. The Rams started off hot. The Cowboys tried to make a comeback, and it just didn't happen. But then you go over to Week 2, and that's when they came back versus Atlanta. And now here we are, Week 3, and that was the shootout with Seattle. And even still, they only lost by a handful of points there as well. So I'm not concerned about the Cowboys in any way, shape, or form. They're going to turn it around. It's really just a series of unfortunate events to start off the year. I mean, look at who they've played, right? Atlanta, and while Atlanta's not a world burner by any means, we know what they can do on offense, and that was a come-from-behind win. Seattle is lights out offensively right now. They can compete with anybody on any given Sunday. That's not a surprise there. And then the Rams are looking to have a turnaround season as well, and we saw that through the first few weeks from them. The Rams are a very, very good football team. They are re-energized as well, and that's going to be the big thing for them moving forward. As far as some injury notes for this game, though, the Cowboys are good and healthy. We like that. But on the other side with the Browns, Kareem Hunt has not practiced Wednesday or Thursday due to a groin injury. He's questionable for Sunday's game. I need to see the injury report for Friday. I want to know if he's limited or if he's if he's another unable to practice. If he doesn't practice on Friday, I have a very hard time believing that he's going to be playing on Sunday. But again, so actually this brings me up to a really, really good point. Because of the way that these videos are structured, right, I do a game video and then that's kind of it, right? But if I upload these on Wednesday or Thursday, anything can happen between the time I upload it and then Sunday. So what I'm going to end up doing for every single game is if there's any injury notes, if there's anything of importance that happens after I upload the video, check the comment section down below. I'm going to leave my takes and my thoughts there, and that will be the pinned tweet in the video. So I do just want to get that out of the way because I realized that was a flaw for some of the content that I was creating. And then also on the Browns injury report, Odell Beckham popped up on the injury report today on Thursday with the back issue. It was just today, so I don't believe it's really anything serious. I expect him to be able to play on Sunday. But the big thing really is just if Kareem Hunt is going to be ready to go. Moving over to some starts sit here for this game. For me, you're going to start Nick Chubb, obviously. I think you start Kareem Hunt if he's active. Maybe you lower the expectations just a little bit, but obviously Hunt and Chubb, the offense revolves around them. So if they're both active, or if they are both active, you are playing both of them. I want to talk about Baker Mayfield for a second. Baker Mayfield is a really intriguing start in this matchup. And the reason why is that the Cowboys are giving up 25 fantasy points per game to the quarterback position, and that is currently 30th. They are really bad against. They are just a very bad secondary that can easily get carved up by quarterbacks. You go through the list. Jared Goff played pretty well week 1. Obviously, Matt Ryan just balled out week 2, and then they just gave up a monster performance to Russell Wilson as well in week 3. So this defense is very susceptible to getting points put on the board from the opposing quarterback. With that being said, Odell and Jarvis are both going to be good plays this week. Dallas is now 31st in fantasy points given up to the wide receiver, coming in at 52.7 points per game. That number is fucking astronomical. I want to pull this up so I make sure that I have this right. Whoa. Wide receivers 27. Wait, where did that number come from? I was looking at DraftKings fantasy points. My bad. So the actual number here is 34.0, which is still number 2. The Seahawks are number 1 with a crazy number. We'll get into that when we talk about the Seattle's preview. But Dallas, regardless, is still number 2 in fantasy points given up to the wide receivers. I just had the formats wrong. Regardless, Odell's a great start. I think Jarvis is going to have a bounce back game as well. Especially if this game goes along the lines of the shootout, which Vegas is projecting it to be, just with that incredibly high over/under, everyone should be a fine start in this matchup. Is there anything else here? All right, and then just moving over to the Cowboys real quick. You know the drill. If you've watched this channel for the past 3 weeks specifically, you guys know how this works. You are playing everybody for the Dallas Cowboys. You are playing Zeke. You are playing Dak. You are playing Amari Cooper. You are playing Michael Gallup. You are playing Ceedee Lamb. You are playing Dalton Schultz. Just the guys. It's who you're going to play every single week. There's no reason to ever remove one of them from your lineups, especially for this matchup, in particular, Dalton Schultz. The Cleveland Browns are let's do math here, they are 29th in the league in fantasy points given up to the tight end. They give up 12 points per game. If you go through the numbers here, 179 yards, 22 receptions, and 3 touchdowns. They can absolutely get murdered by Dalton Schultz. So we've seen the numbers that he's already put up and just his limited action on the field so far and stepping in for the role of Blake Jarwin. That chemistry with Dak Prescott is going to continue to build and evolve over the course of the season. And this is a great matchup for him to once again find his way into the end zone and be hyper-targeted in a matchup versus the Browns here. I think the question, and maybe I'm wrong for even just bringing this up, Cedric Wilson had 2 touchdowns last week. I want to pull up the exact stat line that he had. So Cedric Wilson, he's a rookie out of Boise State. He scored twice in last week's game versus Seattle. And the thing that makes that really weird is that, one, he only played on 31% of snaps, but he saw 7 targets, hauled in 5 of them for 107 yards and 2 scores. I don't expect Cedric Wilson to be a consistent option for fantasy. I really don't, just because he is another mouth for this wide receiver core on top of Cooper, Gallup, and Ceedee. But just a name to keep an eye on. You're not going to play him this week unless you absolutely have to, right? Even then, I feel like you're only playing Cedric Wilson in a super, super deep league, maybe a 16-team league or so. But I'm curious to see what his snap percentage looks like in this game in particular, because week 1 it was 5%, week 2 was 8%, and then just all of a sudden last week it moves up to 31%. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and I want to see what his evolution is going to be during the next handful of games. But if you go through the Dallas Cowboys schedule here, it's Cleveland, the Giants, the Cardinals, Washington, Philly. That is a string of games where I know I say start your Cowboys at every single time. This stretch is going to take that up a notch, because those are all prime matchups for the Cowboys. They legitimately can go, let's go, Matthew. They can legitimately go 4-1. And that one loss is probably to Arizona, but even then, that's probably going to be one of the highest over-unders on the week as well, facing off with Kyler Murray, Kenyon Drake, and DeAndre Hopkins. So that is going to do it for my Cleveland Browns versus Dallas Cowboys game preview for Week 4. If you're excited for this game, once again, hit that like button down below. Also, smash that subscribe button so you don't miss a video from me. You can also follow me on all social media platforms at FFUltra. I love answering your start-sit questions, trade offers, and waiver wire pickups over there. And yeah, that's it. Again, thank you so much for watching. Remember, people come and go, but fantasy championships are forever, and I will see you in the next video.